Hi, my name is Jason from Arbor Creation Homestead, and today we're going to talk about getting fruit trees and bushes in your backyard in a space-saving manner. We're going to show you right here. First of all, we've got some 2 blackberry bushes that we've planted this year. They're fresh. We only haven't planted a week or so. They are called Heaven Can Wait blackberries, and they are self-supporting, so they don't need to be staked up or trellised up or anything of that nature. And we chose those varieties because they have a smaller spread and they don't get as tall, and they are self-supporting. So that so for us, that's a big deal. It's less things we have to have back here to take care of our fruit trees and bushes, and it's just it's an easier way to take care of them. And they are compact and they do a little better in that manner. Next, we're going to talk about this tree right here. This is a dwarf North Star pie cherry. We've just planted it at the same time we planted the blackberries, and here you can see this the buds are coming out on it, and you can see how well it's coming out of dormancy. It is what's known as a pie cherry, so it's gonna be a little more tart than a cherry, but I personally enjoy the tartness and it's more sourness. But it's better for making pie filling and making jams with it because it doesn't have as much sweetness on its own. Next, we're going to show you an update on our apple trees that we put in containers. And if you haven't seen that video, we will link that video at the end of this one, so you can go watch that one, and we'll see an update on those apple trees and these fig trees. So now here are the 2 apple trees that we've planted in muck buckets. We have a video for it, like I said, linked at the end, and they are Pixie Crunch apple trees. They are what's considered a reachable at Gurneys.com, and they were suited for containers. We planted those a couple weeks ago, and you can see that they're already coming out of dormancy. They're doing really well. The leaves are coming out on both of them, and this again is a great way that you can get apple trees and save some space. Okay. The next, we have these fig trees. They are Chicago hardy fig trees. Am I correct? Okay, Chicago hardy fig trees, and we plant them in the containers just like we did the apple trees, and they do well in our gardening zone. We're in 6A. They do well, and we mulch them over top for moisture retention, and we treat them with fertilizer, same as we do anything else. They've done well in the containers. We'll put them out front in the winter time because they get more sun out there. We face south, so they're kind of shaded here in the winter time, but out front they'll get full sun. So we'll put them out there in the summer. They're doing well. They're coming out of it this year. They've got some places here where you see the leaves are getting ready to start back. A lot of you may not know if you like figs or not. They're not an easily found fruit anywhere. So you think, well, I don't really want to buy a fig tree because I don't like figs. Well, maybe you hadn't tried a dang fig. I'd never tried a fig till last year either, and I think they're delicious. So I believe that a fig tree in a container is something that would be good for anybody's backyard. Next, let's show you the blueberries. So here's our blueberries. We have 3 blueberry bushes. As you can see, what we've done is weed eated down around the blueberries to make a bed. Obviously, you still can get some weeds, but I'll weed eat down, and I'll use our pine shavings from our chicken house, use the bedding from our chickens to mulch it, and now that'll help with water retention and to suppress the weeds. Obviously, you still get weeds, but it's so much more easy to weed them like this. It's very, very easy, and it just takes care of the ground a lot better and makes them. I really believe it makes our bushes healthier. In the winter time, we'll take our used coffee grounds and we'll dig up around and put some coffee grounds around them because they need a little acid. Our soil is not very acidic, and it helps along the process. We have 3 varieties. They are Blue Crop, Patriot, and Northland. I'm pretty sure that one's Blue Crop, and I think this is Patriot and Northland. I really couldn't promise you. They're all blueberries. I do know that. Next, we'll go to our raspberries. This variety is a double cropping variety called Crimson Knight. It did very well for us last year. We got a ton of raspberries in the fall, or late summer into the fall from all these ends. And you see here we have these new canes coming up from the bottom of the ground, and then we have these old canes up here, and you can see where they bloomed and got raspberries last year. The double cropping comes in where early in like summer you'll get your berries off of the old canes. You just need to trim off the dead where they bloomed last year. And so you'll get all that. You'll get berries early on the old canes, and later in the fall you'll get berries off these new canes they're pulling up. So that's how the double cropping variety comes in. Some raspberries you may need to cut off even with the ground every year, or you might need to cut them off a foot from the ground, whatever. These raspberries you do not need to do that with. You just need to cut off the dead and let them go. That's one reason why we like them. Besides, they just have a delicious flavor. They are like a cross almost between a black raspberry and a regular raspberry. They're darker, but they're still really, really sweet, but not as sweet maybe as you might think. So they're just outstanding. Doesn't take much to take care of them. Just don't step on the new ones. And you just cut along. Do that real fast. This is one of the things that we have to think about when getting a variety of fruit, tree, or bush for your backyard is how much space do you need for it, and how much time do you want to spend taking care of it. If you're like me, you work a full-time job already. You don't do this full-time. You work a full-time job. Maybe you don't have as much time to take care of these things as you would like, but you do want them. Well, look at varieties when you're looking, and see if they're easier to take care of or not. See if they're compact. See if they're, easy to take care of, if they need specialized things. That's one thing that you need to look at when you're looking for varieties of fruit trees and bushes, is space. Look for things that say compact, good for small space, good for containers. They'll tell you about the spread of each fruit tree or bush that you're looking at. Spread meaning how far out does it go? Like the cherry tree, it says 8 to 10 feet. So it's 4 to 5 feet each way, and then 8 to 10 feet high typically. So that's something to always consider when you're looking for a new variety of fruit tree or bush. And we'll move along here to our apple trees that we have in the ground. These are columnar apple trees, meaning they'll grow compact and stay in a column. They won't get more than 8 to 10 feet high, and they won't spread out more than like 4 feet. So they're really compact. They're great for a space-saving technique. And here, it's something you should do for all your fruit, but we're going to show you what we do here for nitrogen. Most everything needs some nitrogen, fertilizer of any kind, but for time, we're going to talk about just the nitrogen aspect of it. They need a little bit of nitrogen. Apple trees are not too bad. They don't need a ton of nitrogen, but they do need nitrogen, like everything. Nitrogen gives life to the trees and energizes them. Energizes anything that you put it around and gives life to it. For an organic source of nitrogen, we use blood milk. You just take it and dig around to the ground and just take and spread this around, just like this. As you can see, like I said, we use the bedding here for to mulch around everything with. When you use bedding or wood chips of any kind, wood shavings or wood chips of any kind of mulch, that mulch will suck nitrogen as well. It'll soak up nitrogen, so you got to remember that. It doesn't suck necessarily the energy like grass or weeds will, but it will absorb the nitrogen. So you need to think about that as well. So when you're fertilizing, make sure you do fertilize in spring or fall. Old saying is spring or fall and not at all. And make sure you give them, because if they run out of nitrogen, they will not grow as much. Also remember that if you think you want some fruit trees or bushes at some point in time, you need to make sure that you do that as soon as possible, because they don't produce always the first year, especially apple trees. It might take a few years. So you need to make sure that you do that as soon as possible, because some people say the best time to plant an apple tree was 3 years ago. In other words, you should have done it a long time ago. But nonetheless, you need to do it if you want it. Again, you got to make sure they have a source of energy, though. Like I said, this nitrogen is from blood meal. One great way to get blood, essentially, on your fruit trees or bushes would be to, like if you have meat chickens or meat rabbits or something on your homestead or on your property that you're killing, you can harvest that blood from your slaughter, put it in a bucket, and dilute it down with some water, and you can pour it out into the ground around the things that you would like to give nitrogen to. Because the crazy thing about the creation is that there's life that can spring from death. Even when you kill something, the blood can fall to the ground and give life to dead spaces in your ground. And that idea, that possibility, that law of nature, essentially, goes even to your spiritual life. So just as that blood that's poured out into the ground can give life to dead places of your ground, so the Son of God, Jesus Christ, he was killed on a cross for our sins, and the blood that was shed on that cross can give life to our dead selves. That you may feel like you're stuck in life. You might feel like that you're going nowhere, that you're at a dead point in life. If you ask Jesus Christ to come into your heart and save you, his blood can give life to your dead soul. My name is Jason. This is our Creation Homestead. God bless you. Goodbye.